Well, good morning. Happy Monday. Want to bring you the latest data here in the Austin metro area. It's January 29th. We're going to start looking at some of the full numbers from last year. I'll show you where we are right now in terms of sales price and kind of volume in Austin as we end January. And then we'll look at interest rates. And of course, I'll give you a little analysis of where I think we are in the market right now. So we're going to start looking at the 5-year trends. This is looking back at December. So the orange line was 2023. This is units, number of homes sold, not price. So 2023 is the orange line, 2022 is the light blue line, and 2021 is the purple line. So you can see in the pandemic, huge number of volume, lots of sales. And of course, right here, when interest rates went up, we saw the number of units just really drop. We had one of the slowest sales year in Austin that we've had in 20 years last year. By the time we got to November, I mean, we were barely selling 2,000 homes a month for the whole metro area, single family homes. If I look at sales volume, this is price. And again, price wise, in terms of total volume, because there were so few sales, it was almost equivalent to 2019, pre-pandemic there. This is median sales price for the total 5-county metro area. The orange line again is 2023, purple is 2021, and light blue is 2022. Well, if you look at where we ended the year, right under 450, we're about 443. We started the last year about 449, kind of went up a little bit in the spring and then went down in the fall and had a little blip at the end. We're kind of still on pace with, I'll say, where we peaked out spring 2021, about April 2021. So, for almost 2 years, I'd say after this huge roller coaster of price up and down, we're about even with where we were at that point in 2021. It was much flatter last year because rates kind of were already high and kind of stayed higher through the year. Whereas in 2022, this blue line, we had low rates to start the year, a huge hot market. They started raising in April. We peaked out on price and then had a huge slide all the way back down. So really 2022 was the year that got wiped out. And we're kind of back to where we were in portions of 2021. Average sales price, pretty same story. Total listings, this has to do with inventory. And you can see at the start of 2022, we were still in that pandemic sales mode, very low inventory. And then rates went up and we absolutely just shot up in inventory. This last year, same story. We stayed high because we were already high to end 2022. But now we're coming back in line, starting to tighten. I say tighten, starting to kind of fall back in line with where we were in a more traditional market and a traditional cycle. So we're seeing inventories right now in January looking about 8,700 homes for sale. And months of inventory is coming down a little bit. That typically happens. You can see it bows off at the end of every year. We kind of start the spring, January, early February low, and then we typically will start to see that inventory climb as we get into February through June and July is where on a traditional year, it would peak out like this green line, 2019. All right, this is Williamson County. Pretty similar story. Again, same story, low inventory, number of homes sold, sales volume was down, median sales price just a hair below where we were at the end of 2021, pretty even with spring 2021. Same with the average sales price. And of course, total listings a little below where we were at the end of 2022, starting to get more in line with that, again, cyclical seasonal cycle that we saw in 2019. Same with months of inventory. This is Travis County. I know it was just labeled Hays County, but this is Travis County. Obviously, we saw really low sales volume. I mean, below 1,000 homes those last few months in the county. Sales volume, again, below, price-wise, below 2019 as a total sales volume in Travis County. Median sales price, saw a little blip at the end of the year. Some of that is just people buying before the end of the year. We'll start a little lower this month. I'll show that to you in a second. Average sales price, same story. And again, total listings starting to crest off. Finally, this is Hays County. Hays County to the south, Buda, Kyle, San Marcos, Dripping Springs. Number of sales started to wane the second half of last year. Same with sales volume. Median sales price still hanging a little higher. It's a little more affordable in parts of Hays County. And so it stayed a little higher. Nice to see that. Average sales price a little lower. That has to do with volume. And then total listings finally still a little above 2022. And some of that could be new construction. but we're seeing it again wane off at the end of the year. I'm going to flip over to here. This is real-time data. So this is original price, which is green, which is where sellers are trying to list their properties. And blue is closed price, sold price. Well, now we've had enough of January that we're starting to get enough January data that I think it's relevant. So, we peaked out last year, June, around 475. February of last year, we were sitting around 429 in February. And then, of course, rates just kept going up in the second half of the year, the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Price just came down. Again, we saw that little blip at the end of the year. But, January median closed price is lower than December. Okay, so and some of that's because the January closings, most of them are going to be December buyers. So we're still really looking at 2023 buyers at this point. Obviously, sellers feeling like the market, might be doing a little better. You can start to see they're starting to raise their prices again, but it's not showing up in the sold data yet. So it's still very early. I think there's some optimism in the market. Obviously, we're coming out of the coldest fourth quarter we've had in such a long time. Any sales activity right now probably feels positive. I think it's a little early to say if that's actually impacting a higher closed price. We have not seen that in the data yet. So you can see price came down. We had a little blip in December. We're now sitting around 425. Last February, we were at 429. So we're still a hair below last February. We'll see if next month, February, we might have our first batch of 2024 buyers. We'll see if that median price starts to climb. Why is it going to take a while? Well, let's go to mortgage rates. So right now, today, Monday, end of January, we're still up. We're at 6.9%. It's nice to be a little below 7. But if you're a jumbo buyer, you're buying more expensive property, you might be in the 7s. And if you're an investor, you're probably paying 8 for your interest rate. But we're still in the 6s across the board and high 6s for a traditional 30-year fixed rate mortgage. So yes, I do think we're going to see rates likely slowly come down over the course of this year. But until they do, I think we're going to be in the high 6s for a bit. So we're going to have to watch that. Yeah, it's helping buyers a little bit, but it's still expensive. I think buyers are still feeling that. We'll see. We still see some inventory on the market. A lot of inventory from that fourth quarter still kind of sitting around. And so until I see some of that inventory get chewed up, then I think we'll know if that buyer demand is really picking up at a level that will support higher prices. So for now, if you're a seller, I would say the good news is hopefully it's not going to take 3 to 5 months or 6 months to get your buyer. If you are at the same price, hopefully now it will speed up the amount of time that it can help you to get that buyer. I think if you get too excited and you test too high of a price, you're just putting yourself back in a bad position because you'll be competing against other sellers that aren't raising their price right now. So we're going to be watching that. Until we see closed data, it's hard to say right now. It would be just speculation to say that the price of the market is going up. If you are a buyer, again, it's early in the year. We don't have as much inventory in January. I think as we get into February, you're going to start to see more listings come on the market. I know that's what you're looking for as a buyer. And of course, I think rates slowly are going to start to come down this year. But the good news is at least that's a tailwind. So even if you buy now, you have a better chance of refinancing in the near future than you did for the buyers that were buying in 2022 and 2023. So pay attention to all that. If you want to follow all of these videos, you can check out our YouTube channel at Ryan Kelly Group. We post these every Monday on YouTube. And of course, if you know anybody looking to buy, sell, or invest in Austin, I think it's important they follow this data on a weekly level. Put them in touch. We'd love to chat with them and talk about the market and put together a great strategy. Until then, hey, we have a nice sunny day. We're going to hit 70 degrees. We will take that at the end of January after a very rainy month. But until then, check out all this data. Let me know if we can answer any questions for you and enjoy your week. Thanks.